Look, we've all been fed this story, this frankly ludicrous fairy tale about the American dream. Work hard, get good grades, go to college, buy a house, raise 2.5 kids, retire comfortably with a gold watch and crippling gout. It's a nice story, isn't it? Heartwarming, familiar. The problem is, it's about as realistic as a unicorn doing your taxes while riding Bigfoot like a majestic, sparkly steed. Have we been told a lie? Is the American education system teaching us the truth about success? Spoiler alert, it's not. Because while you were busy memorizing state capitals and the quadratic equation, nobody bothered to explain how money actually works in the real world. Let's dive into the reality behind the American dream, and uncover the truths that are often hidden. Buckle up, kids. It's about to get bleakly informative up in here. Think back to your glory days in those hallowed halls of learning. Did you learn about compound interest, investing in the stock market, the sheer, soul-crushing reality of taxes? No? Funny that. Seems the only thing they were really prepping you for was a lifetime of dutifully cashing your paycheck while mindlessly humming the company jingle. You were taught to be a good little worker bee, not a financially savvy honey badger who understands the system and uses it to their advantage. And that, my friends, is a tragedy more heartbreaking than the entire run of This Is Us. Ah, the sweet, sweet taste of freedom that comes with a college diploma. A diploma, by the way, that probably cost you the equivalent of a small island nation. Let's be clear, saddling young people with mountains of debt before they've even had a chance to learn the difference between a Roth IRA and a rhombus is not just irresponsible, it's borderline criminal. And the worst part? That debt, like a particularly tenacious house guest who refuses to take the hint, just loves to hang around. It grows faster than a chia pet on Miracle Grow, siphoning off your hard-earned cash for decades. Welcome to adulthood, where the price of success is a lifetime of indentured servitude to Sally Mae. So, you've done it. You've jumped through all the hoops, navigated the soul-crushing labyrinth of student loans, and now you're ready for the next milestone on the American Dream checklist: homeownership. Because nothing screams success like strapping yourself to a 30-year mortgage that's bigger than the GDP of a small island nation, possibly the same one you just finished paying for with your student loans. But here's the thing, that house, that supposed asset, it's more like a money-hungry monster that demands a constant stream of cash injections, property taxes, maintenance costs, HOA fees that seem to exist solely to fund the HOA president's annual trip to Vegas. It never ends. Chapter 4: Taxes. Let's talk about everyone's favorite subject, taxes. Or, as I like to call them, the government's cut of your hard-earned cash that they then use to fund things you may or may not agree with. It's like being forced to pay for a streaming service that only shows reruns of C-SPAN and documentaries about the migratory patterns of the dung beetle. And the worst part? The more money you make, the more the government wants to help themselves to your good fortune. It's like a perverse game of Monopoly where the bank also gets to be a player and just decides to take whatever it wants whenever it feels like it. Chapter 5: Marriage and Kids. Now, I'm not saying that getting married and having kids is a bad thing. In fact, it can be a wonderful, life-affirming experience. Provided, of course, that you have the financial resources of a small, oil-rich nation. Because let's be honest, kids are basically adorable pooping money pits. And yet society tells us that we should be popping out progeny as soon as we've walked across the graduation stage and paid off our student loans. Which, let's be real, will never actually happen. Chapter 6: Corporate Ladder. So, you've dedicated your life to climbing the corporate ladder, sacrificing your youth, your sanity, and any semblance of a work-life balance in pursuit of that elusive promotion. Congratulations. You've reached the top rung and can now proudly survey your domain from your ergonomically designed office chair. But here's the catch. The ladder? It's an illusion. A cruel trick designed to keep you running on the hamster wheel of capitalism until you collapse from exhaustion or boredom, whichever comes first. Remember all those times your parents and teachers told you to save your money? Well, they meant well, bless their hearts. But they also clearly didn't understand the insidious nature of inflation. See, while you're busy diligently stuffing your hard-earned cash under your mattress, or, if you're feeling really adventurous, into a savings account with an interest rate that wouldn't impress a fruit fly, the value of your money is slowly but surely being eroded. Retirement. That mythical land of leisure and relaxation that exists solely in the brochures of retirement communities and the fever dreams of the perpetually overworked. After all, you've put in your 40-plus years of blood, sweat, and tears. Surely you've earned a little R&R, right? Well, maybe. If you're lucky enough to have a pension that hasn't been raided by corporate overlords or to live in a country with a functioning social safety net. But even then, you're still beholden to the whims of the market, the ever-increasing cost of healthcare, and the nagging suspicion that your best years are behind you. Let's be honest, folks. The rich, they're playing a different game. A game with different rules, different equipment, and a referee who just happens to be their personal financial advisor. They don't just work for money, they make money work for them. They understand the power of leverage, the allure of tax loopholes, and the importance of building generational wealth. In short, they've figured out how to rig the system in their favor, while the rest of us are stuck playing by the old outdated rules. The American dream has become synonymous with consumption. Buy this, own that, upgrade to the latest model. It's a never-ending cycle of keeping up with the Joneses, who are ironically probably just as miserable and in debt as you are. But here's the thing. True wealth isn't about how much stuff you can accumulate. It's about freedom. Freedom from financial worry, freedom to pursue your passions, and freedom to tell your boss to shove it when they ask you to work late, again. Chapter 11. Outdated Dream. The American dream, as we've been sold it, is as outdated as a rotary phone and about as useful in the 21st century. It's a relic of a bygone era, a time when a college degree actually meant something, and a single income could support a family. Those days are gone, my friends. The cost of living has skyrocketed. Jobs are about as stable as a Jenga tower after a few too many tequila shots, and the only thing a college degree guarantees is a mountain of debt and a lifetime of explaining to your relatives what it is you actually do for a living. So, what do? Give up? Embrace a life of quiet desperation and ramen noodle dinners? Absolutely not. Because here's the good news. Once you realize that the American dream, as we've been taught it, is a carefully constructed illusion, you're free to create your own version. It's time to rewrite the rules, to reject the outdated notions of success, and to forge our own paths. It won't be easy, but it will be worth it. Because the only thing more liberating than escaping a trap is realizing you were never really trapped in the first place. This isn't a bug in the system. It isn't some accident or a mistake. The American dream machine is working exactly as designed. It needs you on that hamster wheel, chasing after carrots on sticks. It needs you exhausted, overworked, and terrified of questioning the rules. Why? Because if you stopped for even a minute to catch your breath, you might just see how the whole game is rigged, and that, my friends, is the last thing they want. Because a thinking, questioning, financially literate populace is a threat to the status quo. But now you know, the jig is up. The curtain has been pulled back, and the Wizard of Oz is just a tired old man with a megaphone and a tenuous grasp on economic theory. The American dream, as we've known it, is dead. But in its place, we have the opportunity to create something new, something better, something that actually serves us and our needs. So, go out there and break the mold, challenge the assumptions. And most importantly, never stop questioning the rules, because the only limits to what you can achieve are the ones you set for yourself. The trap is real, but so is the escape. The American dream may be a trap, but understanding the new rules can set you free. It's time to rewrite your own script for success. Because true success isn't about material possessions or climbing some arbitrary ladder. It's about living a life that is authentic and meaningful to you. It's about having the freedom to choose your own path and to pursue your passions without being beholden to debt, to a job you hate, or to a system that's designed to keep you trapped. So, go out there and create your own American dream, the one that's not a trap but a springboard to a life of purpose, fulfillment, and maybe, just maybe, a little bit of fun along the way.